than 48 million Americans have low bone mass, and 9 million Americans have full-blown osteoporosis.
So let me translate that. That means about 1 in 2 people are in real danger of having a catastrophic, life-changing bone fracture. And sadly, often that broken bone comes just as life gets good during your retirement years.
As Lesley is going to show us, there are easy things that we can do to stop it now.
I went swimming, it's 4 summers ago, and I was coming out of the ocean feeling really great, and a wave hit me from behind. And I fell onto soft sand, and I had a multiple hairline fracture in my knee.
That's when Sally Fuman discovered she had osteoporosis.
And that transformed my life, to be honest with you. I thought of myself as being good and strong. I had that fracture, and I couldn't put any weight on that knee or on that leg. I was overwhelmed with depression. And then I realized I was not only going to lose my independence, I was going to have to be dependent on other people. So I had to have somebody help me take a shower, somebody to do my laundry for me.
Unfortunately, she's not alone. Osteoporosis specialist Dr. Ethel Cyrus says 2 million fractures happen every year in this country.
There are over 5,000 fractures every day. The process that leads to the fracture starts occurring at a much earlier time, and those should be very wonderful years. A hip fracture puts you into a hospital. It often puts you into a nursing home. Fractures change your philosophy of life.
Osteoporosis is a disease that has no side effects until you break something. The only way you can tell you have it is through a bone scan.
It was absolutely terrifying the first time I saw my first bone scan, because my doctor showed that it was too close to the edge, and if I didn't make changes right now, I was going to most likely succumb to osteoporosis.
Barbara Hannah Grufferman is the National Osteoporosis Foundation's first bone ambassador.
There are 2 big misconceptions about osteoporosis. One, that we tend to view it as an old person's disease, and 2, that it only happens to women, and neither one of those are true. Sure, it happens more often if you're over 65 or over 70, but you really need to start to focus on this as a potential disease down the road when you're much younger, as soon as possible, even in your 20s and 30s.
The easiest way to battle back against brittle bones? A balanced diet. And we can all start right now. Nutritionist Lynn Tomilowitz breaks it down for us.
Women in your 30s, skip the soda. Soda and other carbonated beverages contain phosphoric acid, and phosphoric acid can actually pull calcium from the body if calcium intake in the diet is low. People in their 40s, keep the dairy, don't skip it. Many women in their 40s, in an attempt to reduce their caloric intake, either eliminate or limit their dairy intake. The better choice, low-fat dairy product. People in your 50s, please limit your salt intake. There is some evidence to suggest that a diet low in sodium can actually have a positive effect on bone health. Most people need about 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day in the diet. Milk, natural cheese has about 200 milligrams of calcium per ounce, so that certainly can help. And as we all know, it's easy to eat an ounce of cheese. I would say the more yogurt, the better, and also fatty fish such as salmon, tuna, or mackerel can also be good sources of vitamin D.
I started doing push-ups and lifting weights and the plank, which is my favorite exercise of all time. And I started to increase my intake of vitamin D and foods that are rich in calcium. And as a result of this, I then 2 years later got my second bone density test, and it showed that I had stopped it right in its tracks.
Good information. Dr. Cyrus has another tip for us. It's about building your balance conditioning, like yoga and Tai Chi. All of that really helps.